Hello everybody and welcome to Nerd Lab. My name is Brian and today we are going to do a deck tech on Captain America First Avenger. But before we get into how amazing this card is, don't forget to put nerd, N-E-R-D nerd, into the comments down below. Like and subscribe for your chance to enter in to win the Dominator Remastered Draft Booster Box giveaway. Now back to the Captain America First Avenger deck tech. Captain America is a red, white, and blue, notice the order of the colors, 3 mana, 4/4 human soldier hero. He has a new ability called Throw. 3 mana, unattached an equipment from Captain America. He deals damage equal to the equipment's mana value, divided as you choose amongst 1, 2, or 3 targets. And the fact that he deals the damage is very important in how we're going to build this deck. His other ability is Catch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. Now the first thing we want to get into is ramp. The good thing is Cap is only 3 mana. The bad thing is there are 3 different color pips. And since we need Cap out to get this deck working, the first part of the ramp is less about getting a lot of mana and more about color fixing. We're not in green, so we're going to have to rely on some mana rocks. Arcane Signet, Azorius Signet, Boros Signet, Izzet Signet. Talisman of Conviction, Talisman of Creativity, and Talisman of Progress. This is one of the few decks that I actually think the Signets are better than the Talismans. But after Captain America's out, Sword of Hearth and Home and Sword of the Animus is going to go get us the lands we want. I also really like the Reaver Cleaver. It gets us treasures and helps him attack. Last sword here is Sword of Feast and Famine. It's going to reopen that mana so we can utilize his ability. I think more important than getting more mana in this deck though is reducing costs. Fighter class, Sigarda's Aid, and Training Ground are all excellent. And I love Fighter class because it also acts as a tutor. And don't sleep on Sigarda's Aid. Free attachments are great, but that flash speed is going to lead to some really good combat tricks, attacking and blocking. And Training Ground might be one of the best cards in this deck. This reduces Cap's ability down to 1. That means any equipment that's free to attach, pay 1, throw it at somebody. But how do we get to this free equipment? Well, how about some tutors? We have classic tutors like Open the Armory and Steel Shaper's Gift, Stoneforge Mystic. But what about Kellen the Fey-Blooded? I did a deck tech on this guy. You should already know how to play him. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Also have tutors on lands. Get it while it's cheap, Axgard Armory. For a more expensive one, Inventor's Fair. But we all know tutors are good. But they're not as fun as card draw. We're in red, white, and blue, so you can do the staples like Rhystic Study, Esper Sentinel, Jessica's Will. And honestly, I kind of like Jessica's Will better than the other 2 here. It's not as strong. But what's nice is you're not going to waste any of that mana. I also think you should add the One Ring. Yeah, it's a good card, but I want to do it for the table talk. What would Captain America do if he was presented with the One Ring? Is he pure enough in heart to destroy the One Ring? Let me know in the comments down below. You also have more classic equipment cards like SRAM Senior Edificer. This is kind of a must-add. But I think cards like Forensic Gadgeteer have a lot more synergy. The clues are going to get you into card draw, but reducing the equip cost is vital to this build. But a card I think is more fun is Virtue of Courage. With Cap's ability, it's basically pay 3, exile 3 cards that you can play this turn. And that's really a good transition into synergy. I feel like one really fun way to build this deck would be Red Burn. Solfim Mayhem Dominus, Gisela Blade of Gold Knight, Torbrand Thrain of Redfell. Solfin just doubles his damage, which is kind of nice. If you throw 3 damage at somebody, now you're dealing 6. But if you throw Excalibur's Sword of Eden at them, you're dealing 24 damage. You go to combat, you freely equip it again, and for 3 more mana, you're dealing 24 damage. You can kill somebody that easily. Gisela does the same thing, but she is more expensive. But her big benefit is that she also halves damage coming to you. And that's really nice because we don't have a lot of chump blockers in this deck. And if someone comes at you with a bunch of 1/1s, that's reduced to 0. But I kind of like Torbrand Thrain of Redfell a little bit more, because we have a lot of 3 mana equipment. That means you pay 3, you get to split that up, 1 damage to one player, 1 damage, 1 damage, and that turns into 3/3/3. 3 mana, 9 damage? Not bad. If you want to be a little bit more mean, Basilisk Collar has Death Touch and Lifelink. The Lifelink is good for you, but the Death Touch means if you can deal 1 damage to 3 different creatures, you're just killing them. But I think the strongest way to build this is around cards like Battle Mage's Bracers and Illusionist Bracers. Copying any ability is always pretty good. You do need another equipment attached, though, to throw. We haven't really talked about his catch ability. The one card that really comes to mind is Colossus Hammer. Cheap to get out, then free to attach. Cap Smash. But I'm more interested in throwing stuff. So let's add Cloud Steel Kieran. Just because we can throw a horse. Who doesn't want to throw a horse? I'm also going to add Mithril Coat, because I would love to kill somebody with my laundry. Well, let's talk about the best card in this deck, Pure Steel Paladin. Remember what I talked about Forensic Gadgeteer and reducing equip costs? Well, now all of our equip costs are 0. Doesn't matter what equipment you have. So it's just 1 mana to throw equipment, reattach. 1 mana to throw equipment, reattach. If that doesn't give you the win, then let's get into our other win con. Rings of Brighthearth, Basalt Monolith, and any equipment. Infinite colorless mana turned into a win. The other one is Tidewater Minion and Battle Mage Bracers, which we already want in the deck. Untap a land, untap itself. Untap a land, untap itself. Infinite mana, infinite throwing, and get you all the damage you need to lead to victory. Thank you all for listening. This has been my breakdown of Captain America First Avenger. I hope you liked it. I hope you build it. Please send me your Mox Fields. I would love to check everyone's deck out. I'm building this as soon as it comes out.